In this video, we'll look at the theme of theosis and unification with the divine in Dante's comedy. And the first example of this is in the dream of chapter 9 of Purgatory with the eagle. In the 9th canto of the Purgatory, there is a prophetic passage where Dante is having his first dream during the first night of the climb, of being hunted down from above by an eagle and lifted up into the fire. There, they both burn, and the intensity makes the pilgrim suddenly wake up, partly in fear. Dreaming, I saw him circle for a while. Then, terrible as lightning, he struck down, swooping me up into the fire. And there it seemed the bird and I burned both together. The heat of that imaginary blaze was so intense, I'm awakened from my sleep. The explanation for this is then given by his guide Virgil, that the pilgrim has been lifted up from the Valley of Princes in chapter 8 and up to the gate of Purgatory by Saint Lucia while he was sleeping. But there is also a much deeper symbolism in this passage, one which has been interpreted in several different ways in the various commentaries of the Divine Comedy. A more theological interpretation would be that the fire is a symbol of the divine in itself, with references to how this is portrayed in the biblical stories of Moses, which also connects the Purgatory closely to the symbolism of spiritual ascent and learning in the book of Exodus. This theme is also explicitly introduced in the 2nd canto when the souls are approaching the shores of the island, singing in exitu Israel di Egypto, in one single harmonious voice. The theme of fire and unification is thus prophesizing the very ending and aim for the whole Divine Comedy, to gradually rise up to the very source of the divine light in the Empyrean, the highest sphere of the heavens, and then experience a mystical union with being in itself, with the help of the prayers of the great mystic Saint Bernard and the final grace from the Virgin Mary. A professor in Napoli, Dr. Giglio, describes the symbolism in the following way. The presence of the fire and the motive of the kidnapping, even though in just a dream, makes us able to anticipate that which was the aspiration of Dante, to reach the divine, which in the biblical stories and Exodus was represented as the burning bush, as a vivid and living fire. Dante in his proceedings has had to confront and surpass many barriers of fire to continue his journey. The fire then symbolizes the burning desire of the pilgrim towards the biblical image of the divine. The fire is an expression of strong desire, and in the dream, Dante has brought to completion that which burns inside of him, to unify himself with the divine fire. The image is symbolic and could signify the aspiration towards the fire divinity, which now in a dream seems to him to have already happened. And with this dream, at the transition point between anti-purgatory and the real purgatory, Dante as a writer is stretching out the full canvas for the whole story, and in many ways his overall purpose for writing the comedy, to show us a journey towards the divine through a personal example, as inspiration and for imitation to us as readers. The first idea and experience of this is felt through the burning image, which the pilgrim is not yet ready for, as his spiritual growth is in the beginning stages, and thus it wakes him out of his dream. But the feeling lingers after he wakes up, and a little seed is planted in him for the climb up the mountain and for the ascent into the heavens.